Hello, hello out there in social media land, wherever you are tuning in from. I am Jeffrey E. Berger, and welcome to my Holistic Mental Fitness series, where myself and Mupo Entertainment LLC, who I'm very, very excited to be partnered with in this journey, also believes mental fitness is the new physical health. So, before I bring on my very special guest, Debbie Hinnant, we actually were going to have Dr. Sean tonight, but something came up, and Debbie was so gracious to step in for me last minute. So, if I may, before we get started, as a certified holistic wellness coach, I'm really humbled to be affiliated with a group of humanitarian entrepreneurs who are actually aligned with the only holistic mental wellness company that is focusing on the microbiome. And people ask, what is the microbiome? Well, in fact, it's the gut, heart, brain axis health. And this is a science that's actually disrupting the health and wellness industry when it comes to mental wellness. Who out there hasn't experienced stress, anxiety, depression, or even has had suicidal thoughts? And this interview series is very near and dear to my heart, sharing stories of other people opening up in conversations from all areas of wellness to help people understand it's okay to talk about mental health, share experiences, and become informed that there are actually alternative solutions and options out there that are safe and work. We're out there providing information for those individuals who are looking. So we actually provide real solutions for real people who are serious about getting their health from a physical and a mental perspective, from barely surviving to thriving again. And this is what we're so excited about. You know, there is no physical health without mental wellness. And they are really actually two sides of the same coin, because they are vital for each other to really work together. And you're going to learn that through this series. And also it's for our ability to really reach our peak potential in this one life that we get to live. How you feel is not just in your head, it's also in your gut. So, and this is what we really do best. So before I introduce my very special guest, I want to talk very quickly about Mupo Entertainment. This is a brand new TV series. It's a new platform, and it's giving people like myself a platform to really get out there and provide a message, provide my message, provide our message, the ones that I'm interviewing, you know, because mental health is the next trillion-dollar industry. And there is an aggressive look for companies that are being innovative and are developing non-pharmaceutical protocols that are safe and work. So with that, Mupo Entertainment, you can get it downloaded on Android. It's an app on Android. It's an app on the Apple as well. And I'm really excited to see this coming out on Roku, Fire Stick, YouTube, and other platforms as well. I just wrapped up season 1 with 13 episodes, and this is season 2. So I'm excited for that to get pushed out to the networks. And let's stay tuned here for a quick Dancing Man commercial. We'll be right back.
Hi, Jeff.
I think we are having some technical difficulties, and we got to go with the flow when it happens. And we are here actually on stage here. So let's see. We have Debbie Hinnant here, who is a retired nurse. She's married to her ex-husband after being divorced for 20 years. It is a love story extraordinaire. She's the mom of two amazing children, Liberty and Tyler, and a grandma too. Before nursing school, she was a ballerina for 14 years. I was dancing with the New York City Jazz Company back in the 80s, so we have a similar story here. Critical nurse, critical care nurse for 38 years. That's a long time. Passionate about Mother Nature and happiest when she is in nature. And I'll have Debbie share a little bit more. So welcome to season 2, episode 2, Holistic Mental Fitness, Debbie.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. It's so good to be here. I had trouble staying in my seat when the dancing man was on. I just wanted to get up and dance right with him. And I guess that's the dancer getting reignited in my spirit, but it was fabulous. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So before we actually get started with the questions tonight, why don't you share with our viewers a little bit about who Debbie is?
Okay. Well, I'm a retired registered nurse. And as Jeff already said, I remarried the love of my life after 20 years of being divorced, which a lot of people find is just bizarre, but it's really turned out great. My passion is all things Mother Nature. And I have to give credit to my dad, the foundation that was built when I was very young, because he was super spiritual. And he really believed that we're all connected. And what we do to another person, we do to ourselves. And what we do to the planet, we do to ourselves. So he was always very careful to teach us as we were growing up to have that same reverence for all living things that he did. And interestingly, he was also very grounded in science. That was his career that he pursued, was in mathematics and chemistry. So I had that underpinning as well.
Sure.
So I'm really grateful to have that kind of a start in life.
That's awesome. Yeah, many of us get traits from our fathers and our mothers, fathers or mothers, combination of both, which is really a blessing in many ways. So I got to start with this first question because it really intrigued me about you're getting a lot of questions of why, after all the scientific experience you were grounded with and dedicated to for all those years, would you want to go off the deep end into all this woo-woo stuff?
Well, I trace it back to the way I got started in life, that I was taught to have an appreciation for things that we really couldn't see or touch or feel particularly.
Sure.
And, I was a science geek, and I still am to this day. But I was reflecting a while back on things that I did in my nursing career. For instance, if we had a shred of time, we would teach people how to do some relaxation techniques and visualize, some special place that would bring them happiness and hopefully promote the healing process. But there was never much time to develop that at all. But the woo-woo stuff goes deep. And I don't look at my involvement with the mental wellness company initially as that being the main attraction, that it was woo-woo. It was far more than that. So that's the icing on the cake, so to speak.
Exactly. No, I like that response because when I got started, a little bit before I got started, I was introduced to the holistic world, and I'm like, woo, woo, woo. And I grew up knowing this because I have medical people in my family, and they're like, no, you got to stay away from that stuff. It doesn't work. It's all, nothing. But come to realize it is something. But, as a critical nurse for years, I like this verbiage that you use because it reminds me, I just came from an appointment with Joshua and the doctor being pretty cocky about how much he knew about the body. But you talk about, yet people still got sick. They stayed sick. They kept dying. And while their loved ones watched helplessly. So share a little bit about, that experience being a nurse.
Yeah. Well, nursing school was probably one of the hardest things I ever did. And I wanted to quit frequently. they really were determined to turn out the best product possible to the community. And kudos to our instructors. They did a great job. And then when we entered the actual workforce, I was blessed or cursed at times, it felt like, to have these mentors that they just beat me up every day, just, molding and shaping me and teaching me to be the best I could be. So I was cocky. After I got through the other side of all that, I thought, well, there's not much I don't know about how the body's supposed to work. And I knew how to really take good care of sick people, not just sick people, but very sick people. If you land in the ICU, you are a very sick person. Sure. And it was sad because all I could do on most days was take care of the most emergent situations. There was no time to just be with somebody. And when I look back, I think, gosh, so many of those patients were in the situation they were in because of poor lifestyle choices. And why did that happen? Because they didn't know any better.
Right.
So it was survival for them and for the people taking care of them, like me.
Yeah, and that, you bring in survival mode, and that's what I'm seeing more and more today. People are in survival mode or barely surviving, as I mentioned earlier. We're all about taking those individuals and getting them to thrive again. You talk about not knowing, and this is very, very true because we're led to believe our doctors know everything. Well, unfortunately, they don't, and that's okay. There does come a time where, for me, I just had to wake up because my doctor wanted to put me on a 6th medication, and I'm like, no, I don't think so. That woke me up to a reality call when we need to take ownership of our own health. So I think more and more people today are actually doing that. And it's funny because you talk about that you retired from being a nurse for 38 years. That has to be, I worked in hospitals too when I was younger. And I was in a PA, physician's assistant program when I left high school, but life diverted me and took me into software engineering. But in any event, you retired. However, somebody came knocking at your door about the holistic mental wellness company that focuses on the gut health. So when that happened, what was going through your head?
Oh, gosh. Retirement didn't turn out to look anything like I thought it would. I had this profound sense of loss of my community of peers, loss of my sense of purpose. And then my husband got ill, and he and I had a very active lifestyle. And it just all evaporated because it was one thing after another. And I was in a position of being a primary caregiver, day in and day out. And I really was, I was depressed. I was anxious. I was stressed. I was breaking down. I'd always been a good sleeper my entire life. I wasn't sleeping. It was just bad. And I was doing the best I could just to get through what needed to be done any particular day. And some dear friends of mine approached me, and they knew, knowing me well, that I was in trouble. So they just encouraged me to take a look at this. Just take a look at it. I thought, you know what? I've done that. I've been there, done that. I was what I used to say was a serial network marketing dabbler, and everything pretty much went up in flames over the years. But I just, wasn't really interested. But then they started talking about science, like, ding, and the science geek in me just really woke up. And I started looking at everything and thinking, this makes so much sense. It really makes sense. So I dug into the science and saw that everything was backed by clinical studies, and that the products were just from Mother Nature. There wasn't anything being fabricated in a lab. It just blew me away. And then I started looking and listening to their results and other people's results. And I thought, you know what? I need to try this. I need to do something because I am going down a rabbit hole and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out of it. So that's when I decided to open my mind again and see what the mental wellness company had to offer. So glad I did.
That's great because I resonate with that so much, Debbie, because when I was presented this company, I just said, absolutely not. I have no interest. And here I am today, and I'm in so far the best health I've been in over 30 years. So that says a lot to what we're doing and how we're helping people, because people are having unprecedented results with regards to this very unique product line. And you talk about getting back to Mother Nature. We need to get to the root cause, and plants were put here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to utilize these plants because most of them have such unique traits and elements that are essential for us to thrive, as I said earlier. And so it's really interesting to see how we're evolving, and there are more and more people that are interested. However, are still some skeptical ones. That's okay, but it's their own choice. But if they're open to just getting information, because that's what I did, like you. Science backed. Because I was working for another company that was not science backed, but this piqued my interest, and here I am today. So I love that, and that's the other thing. What is? Give me two. I'm going to go off script here a little bit. Give me two important factors for people to look at when they are looking at a nutraceutical.
Oh gosh. I think for me, is it backed by science? Are there clinical studies and human clinical studies, placebo controlled, peer reviewed, published studies, things that can really back up what it says it's going to do? Another huge thing for me was there's so much garbage out there. There's so many things that are adulterated and contaminated with heavy metals and pesticides and heaven knows what else. And that was something that I dug into. I did my due diligence. And when I found out that the mental wellness company was not only checking, but they're triple checking. They're checking at the sourcing level. They're checking when it comes in to be formulated, and then before it ever gets shipped out, there's 3 checkpoints of making sure that what we're delivering is the best, most pristine, effective product available. So I think, where's the science? Mm-hmm. And where's the quality? Where's the quality control? 2 key factors. If it's going to work, you got to have those things.
Perfect. That was in the top 5 of my list too, coming on board. So yeah, absolutely. And we talk about science backed, and we're talking about mental health, and this is a one of our product packs, and it's the Happy Mind Pack, and people are looking for something that will give them more support with motivation, with brain health, with neuron regeneration, focus and memory, mental energy and endurance. And how about something that promotes a healthy, positive mood? Mm-hmm. Well, these are some of the things that we actually focus on with these unique plants, indigenous plants, I'm going to say, from all over the world. And some of them, obviously, we can't even get here in the United States. But take a look at this, because this is an amazing 4 product pack that we have that is getting some amazing results when it comes to, energy and mood, motivation, focus, and opening up that brain to reduce the brain fog, so forth and so on. All right. So There we go. Let me remove this, and we're back here. So that was, we talk about brain health and just igniting your brain and neurotropic. So these are all important, essential nutrients that we need in our body. So with that, my next question to you, Debbie, is a very, very interesting one because the word about town is that your husband was not supportive and not on board with you starting this new business venture after retirement. So, however, today it's a different story. So, share that with our viewers because
Yeah.
it excites me. I just heard a little bit, but I want to hear more.
Yeah. Well, he is highly educated scientist himself and a lifelong skeptic. He studies and he learns and he looks at things every way possible. And, to his defense, he had seen me do a lot of different things. Like I said, I was a serial network marketing dabbler and nothing worked out, nothing until I found this amazing opportunity. And so I was telling him I was so excited, and I had started the products, and I was saying, "Well, I'm feeling more alert. I'm feeling more motivated. I can remember things like I never have before, and I'm losing inches in my waist, honey." And just telling him all the different sleeping better and things that were happening that were positive, and he'd just kind of look at me and say, "Placebo effect." Don't tell me that. It's just the placebo effect. So then I went to the mental wellness coaching certification course taught by Dr. Sean Talbot and spent a glorious in-person multiple days in the classroom learning and studying. And I came home from that super excited. And he gave us this huge book that weighs about 30 pounds that had all the course content in it and all the clinical studies, the references. So I walked in and my husband takes the book out of my hands and he goes into his office and closes the door and just starts studying and going through it. He was in there 3 hours, Jeffrey.
Wow.
And he came out with a book in his hand and he looked at me and he said, this real serious voice, "Honey, this company is the real deal. You have my 100% support." And wow. I wanted to just fall to the floor. It's like, oh, yeah, hallelujah. And it's been a game changer ever since. As a matter of fact, he has now started on our fundamentals pack and is having tremendous success with it. So I'm so pleased that I hung in.
Such a testimonial, especially from a scientific perspective and with his knowledge in the industry. And to hear that, it just shows that we have a platform that people are really looking for. Well, of course we do. We're growing in the triple digits. So what else can we say? Yeah. So we're coming up to close to a wrap up. And I want to thank you for taking the time and especially last minute for stepping in. Dr. Sean will be with us October 17th and Debbie filled in today. One more question before we go. If there was one piece of advice that you could give anyone watching who is looking for that glimmer of hope, what would that be?
Well, I was reflecting on my journey with this amazing, unique community of very loving, supportive people, unlike going into nursing for the first time when nurses eat their young, not like that with this community at all. And I was just remembering something that Steve Jobs said, and he just said, you're going to spend a huge chunk of your life working, a huge amount of time working. And if you want to do great work, you're going to have to do something that you love. So do what you love. And this organization, this collective of bright-minded people, loving, supportive people, are doing important work and work that they love. Mm-hmm. So I'm honored to be part of that and to have a chance to share. Jeffrey, thank you so much.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. So again, this is the Holistic Mental Fitness Series, and this is only episode 2 of season 2. I've got 11 more to go here. We hope that you found value from our conversation and the nuggets that Debbie has so graciously shared this evening. And again, I want to thank you for taking the time to be my guest. And I so enjoyed this experience with you. And we are definitely changing the world.
Yes,
That is for sure. So I want to let people know that next week is my very, very special guest, Pat Hintz. And he is actually the founding wellness partner of this holistic mental wellness company, Amari Global. And he is going to debunk the myth of direct sales, network marketing. This is a business model. And this business model is being used in insurance, the insurance industry, the pharmaceutical industry, and as well as the real estate industry, and is being looked at by other industries because the success that this business industry model is having. So stay tuned for that. Join us. Get some really good information from a person who has been in this business model for, I think it's over 30 years, and has had great success. And you get the words from our infamous leader here. So with that, I believe that we all should be living in abundance and optimum wellness, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially, for those that choose. It's a choice. It's a choice to make changes in your life. It's a choice to make changes in your health, especially. Take control. And if you're a little skeptical, but a little bit open, reach out. And we'd be happy just to provide you some information so you can make an educated choice or a decision for yourself. So with that, remember, mental fitness is the new physical health. And I'll see you on the inside next time.